can remember that did change my voice. There's been some big waves here today. We're on Proverbs 27. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. Let someone else praise you and not your own mouth, an outsider and not your own lips. Obviously, if one is supposed to be the leader and no one but God testifies on their behalf, they should point it out. Stone is heavy and sand a burden, but a fool's provocation is heavier than both. Reminds me of yesterday when I was or the day before yesterday, I was in downtown Santa Cruz, and I was provoked by at least 3 different people. Anger is cruel and fury overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? Better is open rebuke than hidden love. Wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. One who is full loathes honey from the comb, but to the hungry even what is bitter tastes sweet. Like a bird that flees to its nest is anyone who flees from home. I think it's supposed to say from its nest. One way or another, if you flee from home, you put yourself at risk, as I've put myself at risk, but it is the right thing to do, like Christ is a character in the story. Also note that when it talks about who can stand before jealousy, right? Set is a deity of jealousy. And I've just seen part of a video about Valentine's Day. Today's Valentine's Day. It's based, it's called Lupercalia. Connects to a deity called Lupus, whose Greek equivalent is Pan, who's the devil on the tarot card. There's a goat deity, the sheep and the goats, what have you. And there's a lot of connections there, right? Pan, panties, okay, pandemic, pandemonium, panic, what have you. Also it connects to Priapus, Pri, Alpha, what have you. Okay, so perfume and incense bring joy to the heart, and the pleasantness of a friend springs from their heartfelt advice. Excuse me, do you mind if I ask you some questions, real quick questions for my videos?
Oh, sorry, I have like a time limit. So.
All right, so good. Have a nice day. Let's see here. Perfume and incense bring joy to the heart, and the pleasantness of a friend springs from their heart-filled advice. Do not forsake your friends or a friend of your family, and do not go to your relative's house when disaster strikes you. Better a friend nearby than a relative far away. Be wise, my son, and bring joy to my heart, then I can answer anyone who treats me with contempt. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. So you see people keep reproducing, even though there's the danger of artificial intelligence, the technology, and the fumes, and the poisons, and the organized harassment, and the psyops, and on and on and on. Okay, there's no shortage of dangers to make it clear that people should not reproduce. And more blessed are the childless women than the women who who physically have children in this horrible time that we live in. No offense to anybody, other than the offense that God intended. Be wise, my son, and bring joy to my heart, then I can answer anyone who treats me with contempt. The prudent, okay, I went over that. Take the garment of one who puts up security for a stranger, hold it in pledge if it is done for an outsider. If anyone loudly blesses their neighbor early in the morning, it will be taken as a curse. A quarrelsome wife is like the dripping of a leaky roof in a rainstorm. Restraining her is like restraining the wind or grasping oil in the hand. Okay, I'm about to turn the page. It might make some noise here. Okay. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. The one who guards a fig tree will eat his fruit, and whoever protects their master will be honored. As water reflects the face, so one's life reflects the heart. And here we are in Santa Cruz by the ocean. I did not scan ahead to see what this chapter reveals, so I've read Proverbs many times. So as water reflects the face, so one's life reflects the heart. Death and destruction are never satisfied, and neither are human eyes. The crucible for silver and the furnace for gold, but people are tested by their praise. So people are tested by their praise. One's life reflects the heart. Praise God. Praise the spirit of universal pinpoint and moral precision. Though they fuel me and poison me to prevent me from feeling like the spirit is coming into me, certainly the spirit is in me. I am one with the spirit of God. I'm one with God. Though you grind a fool in a mortar, grinding them like grain with a pestle, you will not remove their folly from them, right? Stop committing to foolish paths and ways. Stop becoming one with folly, become one with God instead. Be sure you know the condition of your flocks. Give careful attention to your herds. For riches do not endure forever, and a crown is not secure for all generations. Okay, so what it's saying is who, what, when, where, how, why. Obviously God will be king for all generations. I will reign at God's right hand for all generations. But it's saying be very careful, be sober, be vigilant, be quick to make the right decisions. When the hay is removed and new growth appears, and the grass from the hills is gathered in, the lambs will provide you with clothing, and the goats with the price of a field. You will have plenty of goat's milk to feed your family and to nourish your female servants. Now there's all kinds of connections there, right? The Lamb of God, separating the sheep from the goats, what have you. All kinds of very potent connections that show us to be universally, morally precise, be righteous and true. Proverbs 28. The wicked flee though no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. When a country is rebellious, it has many rulers, but a ruler with discernment maintains order. The divine order. A ruler with discernment maintains order. Does God have discernment? Yes. Is the throne established in righteousness? Yes. Do the one who love God obey his commands? Yes. They also obey his order. God maintains order. And you know them by their works. And a huge part of their works is whether or not they're in the divine order. So write down Proverbs 28, verse 1 through 2. A ruler who oppresses the poor is like a driving rain that leaves no crops. Those who forsake instruction praise the wicked, but those who heed it resist them. Remember, people are tested by their praise. Are you praising the wicked by having the principles of evil? Or are you universally morally precise? That's why one of my favorite scriptures, and I've said this many times, is why don't you judge for yourselves what is right? Evildoers do not understand what is right, but those who seek the Lord understand it fully. Seeking the Lord with wisdom, right? Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness. Better the poor whose walk is blameless than the rich whose ways are perverse. Better the poor whose walk is blameless than the rich whose ways are perverse. A discerning son heeds instruction, but a companion of gluttons disgraces his father. Whoever increases wealth by taking interest or profit from the poor amasses it for another who will be kind to the poor. So people shouldn't exploit to the poor, because those who do not have righteousness, even what they have, will be taken away. If anyone turns a deaf ear to my instruction, even their prayers are detestable. Even their prayers. And that includes maintaining the divine order, coming into the divine order. Whoever leads the upright along an evil path will fall into their own trap, but the blameless will receive a good inheritance. Whoever leads the upright along an evil path, they try to do mind control, they try to fuel me, they try to poison me, they try to get me to make mistakes. That's why the so-called mistakes I made in life aren't really mistakes. And there's a reason why it's called a mistake, missing out, want out of this world, not to go into this world, want to be gathered in the clouds, figuratively speaking, gathered in the martial arts strikes of God, the martial spirit of God, the intense spirit of God, and taken from this planet, and not embracing this planet like the snake, like the worms, what have you. The rich are wise in their own eyes. One who is poor and discerning sees how deluded they are. When the righteous triumph, there is great elation. But when the wicked rise to power, people go into hiding. Whoever conceals their sins does not prosper, but the one who confesses and renounces them finds mercy. I've been morally precise. I have not sinned. And to say that I have would be sinning, would make me a liar like those who cheat me out of my right to lead, who are lying by their actions. So again, we go back to that one verse. It says, whoever leads the upright along an evil path will fall into their own trap, but the blameless, keyword blameless, will receive a good inheritance. Blessed is the one who always trembles before God, but whoever hardens their heart falls into trouble. Like a roaring lion or a charging bear is a wicked ruler over a helpless people. We see this, I believe it's in Amos, where it says the day of the Lord is like someone who flees from a roaring lion, only to come into a charging bear. And like a bear robbed of her cubs. Better meet a bear robbed of her cubs than a fool bent on falling. So that wicked ruler that rules over a helpless people is a fool bent on falling. And it's like a bear robbed of her cubs. Thus, the reason why the beast is said to have, I believe it is, feet of a bear. Where it's going, why is it going there? The way, the path. A tyrannical ruler practices extortion, but the one who hates ill-gotten gain enjoys a long reign. Anyone tormented by the guilt of murder will seek refuge in the grave. Let no one hold them back. The one whose walk is blameless is kept safe, but the one whose ways are perverse will fall into the pit. Perverse and perverted, right? Eros is a deity of desire and lust, and they fall into the pit. The earth sinks into the pit. Those who work the land will have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies will have their share of poverty. A faithful person will be richly blessed, but one eager to get rich will not go unpunished. To show partiality is not good, yet a person will do wrong for a piece of bread. The stingy are eager to get rich and are unaware that poverty awaits them. Whoever rebukes a person will in the end gain favor, rather than the one who has a flattering tongue. So again, better is open rebuke than love that is concealed. Whoever robs their father or mother and says it's not wrong is partner to one who destroys. The greedy stir up conflict, but those who trust in the Lord will soon prosper. Those who trust in themselves are fools, but those who walk in wisdom are kept safe. Those who give to the poor will lack nothing, but those who close their eyes to them receive many curses. When the wicked rise to power, people go into hiding, but when the wicked perish, the righteous thrive. So people are supposed to scramble together to do what is right so that the righteous can thrive and the nation can thrive where it matters most in terms of righteousness and justice, which by default would come with an end of almost all preventable deaths, really. An end of homelessness, an end of a lot of misery and suffering.